I want to talk about something I've discussed many times in this course, perhaps ad nauseum, the myth of Prometheus, but in particular as related to an important figure in the history of science and technology known as Alfred Nobel. Alfred Nobel. So first, to review the myth of Prometheus, we had those two versions. The one which was altruistic, which involved the Titan Prometheus stealing the secret of fire from the gods to benefit humanity, being punished for that, as you can see from this humorous comic strip, by having his liver pecked out and then having it regrow and repecked out for all eternity. Then we have the story of the Prometheus, the Roman version, who fashions a being out of the elements of the earth in order to create a race of beings that will worship him as a god, essentially replacing God and becoming God himself. The spirit of Prometheus, that is to say, the desire to unlock the secrets of the universe and to use them, involve both the altruistic and the vain and greedy motivations that are embodied in these two versions of the myth of Prometheus. An individual that best represents this is Alfred Nobel. Alfred Nobel, the famous Swedish scientist, chemist, and industrialist. He applied the fruits of chemistry, modern chemistry, in order to produce a new explosive device in 1867 known as TNT. TNT. There had been, of course, very explosive elements that had been developed previously. The problem was that they were very unstable. Nitroglycerin, for example. Nobel attempted, along with his family and his brothers, to produce a much more stable explosive that you could use reliably, either in battle or in civilian applications, without blowing yourself up. By the way, in the process of developing dynamite, which answered this need that Nobel was trying to fill, Nobel's younger brother was killed experimenting with nitroglycerin. So Nobel developed a new explosive device that was far more reliable and powerful than any explosive device that had been developed before, and he became filthy rich. One of the richest people in Europe at the time, at the end of the 1800s. He made most of his money by selling dynamite and explosive technologies for purposes of warfare to various European states, including also to the United States. So he used the secret of fire, so to speak, in order to enhance his own power, and for, you might say, nefarious and evil purposes, in order to facilitate killing technology in warfare. At the same time, however, dynamite is a blessing. It enabled all sorts of new things that enhanced people's lives. The construction of new mines, the construction of hydroelectric power plants, the creation of foundations for ever larger buildings and skyscrapers in modern cities. There are all sorts of productive, beneficial uses for dynamite, just as, by the way, there are for chemical fertilizers. On the one hand, those chemicals can be used to enhance agricultural productivity. On the other hand, they can be gathered together and used as an explosive device, by the way, as Timothy McVeigh did in blowing up the FBI building in the 1990s, acquiring from farms chemical fertilizers, converting them as a dual-use technology into bombs. So Alfred Nobel embodies both aspects of the Promethean spirit. The use of unlocking the secrets of nature to enhance human civilization, and its use to enhance his own power at the expense of destroying human civilization. And nowhere is this represented better than with what Nobel did with his, you might say, ill-gotten gains, depending on your perspective, when he died. When he died, unbeknownst to his family, what Nobel did is that he endowed a new fund that would try to underwrite the development of science and technology and civilization going forward, the Nobel Prizes. There were Nobel Prizes in each field. I have here a newspaper clipping from the first Nobel Prizes that were granted around the turn of the century in the area of physics, in the area of chemistry, in the area of medicine. It was Nobel's aim to use that money that came from killing technology to enhance the development of new knowledge that might be used for killing purposes or for beneficial purposes. But perhaps the most ironic of all the prizes that Nobel committed, and maybe a reflection of his own sense of guilt, was the Nobel Peace Prize. The Nobel Peace Prize, which still remains today as a fixture in trying to create a global culture of peacemaking rather than warmongering. And think about the irony. What is it that funded the Nobel Peace Prize? The millions and millions of dollars that were gained from selling instruments of warfare and killing to states in Europe.